Starting today, as you can hear, very close to the motorway at the entrance to the Arboretum of the Haverley Bos, a place where a number of foreign species of tree have been planted over the years to see how well they will thrive on Belgian soil. The Arboretum is also the home of the first of a series of sculptures by local artist Ad Wouters. They're all made from wood and they form a sort of itinerary through the forest called Het Pad van Ad, Ad's Path. And this is the very first of them, de dirigent, the conductor. De dirigent, as you can tell, is a fairly leafy chap. He's got his hands raised, conducting an orchestra. His face is made of leaves, and if you go down to his feet, you can see that he's actually springing from a bud of some kind. Once we delve a bit further into the Arboretum, actually a little bit difficult to find, we've got the second of the Ad Wouters sculptures, Ignatius the Owl. Ignatius presumably being a salute to de Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits. Ignatius seems to me to have a somewhat either partly reproving and partly startled expression. I guess maybe that's just the way owls look. Also, he's a wee bit unsteady on his blocks at the moment. At the southern end of the Arboretum, here is the Neanderthal, the third of Ad Wouters' sculptures on Het Pad van Ad. And as you can see, he's a thoughtful chap wearing good chunky Neanderthal boots. We make fun of the Neanderthals, but we should remember that we're actually quite closely related to them. A genetics website I consulted told me that about 2% of my own DNA is Neanderthal, and that in fact I am more Neanderthal than 80% of their customers. Makes you think. So here's another one of Ad Wouters' sculptures, not actually part of Het Pad van Ad because it's on the main road rather than in the woods. And it's simply called Heremus, horsetail, after the plant which it so accurately depicts at a somewhat larger scale than you get them in real life. And Ad Wouters dedicates this sculpture to his friend, the forest warden Rick Franks. Sometimes with novels you want to skip ahead to the end, and sometimes with art routes, including a dozen statues that are 22 kilometres in length, you also skip ahead to the end. This is the last of the statues of the Pad van Ad, and it is a statue of Don Bosco, the Italian saint of the 19th century, who dedicated his career to helping out children at risk. And here you see him presumably carrying a child away from a risky situation. And there's Ad Wouters' monogram. As you can see, as usual, he's taken care with the feet of his characters. There's Don Bosco with the one foot on, I don't know, is it the globe, is it the world? And there's the little girl who's carrying, and they're both looking ahead happily towards, let's hope, a brighter future. And they're standing right outside the house of the Salesian Order of Don Bosco here in Oud Heverlee, which is still used for quite a lot of youth activities. And they've got a good view over the Valbeek Valley, or at least with the eye of faith they have. So I'm finishing up for today here with my chum Manuel. Manuel is another one of the Ad Wouters creations. As you can see, he's a charming chap with a clog on his head. Apparently he commemorates Manuel de Bruy, a former mayor of Oud Heverlee. I'm not sure when Manuel de Bruy can have been mayor, because the Van der Zande family seem to have pretty much held that office from 1964 until 2012. But, you know, here is Manuel. Goodbye from Manuel, goodbye from me.